Hi, and welcome to this episode of Shine with Julie. I am so excited to be here with you today. And today we are going to talk about how to break your self-imposed glass ceiling. And by that, I mean that you have a set point in money. You have, whether you know it or not, it's like a thermostat. You reach a certain point and then you fall back. You reach a certain point and you fall back. And the only way to get past that is if you break your own ceiling. And why I call it a self-imposed ceiling is because if you're somebody, an entrepreneur like me, or you fish for your own food, a commissionable salesperson, or somebody who is an employee but gets bonused, the only ceiling on your income is really you, because you have the potentials out there. But for some reason, you get to a certain point and you either coast or you self-sabotage. These may be ringing true to you. I've been an entrepreneur now for almost 20 years. Before that, I was a commissioned salesperson, and I know this is true. I have felt it in my own life. So how do you get past it? You might be thinking, I've done this for so long. I've never been able to. I've never. And those thoughts start to get to you. And that's true. You haven't to this point. However, you can. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So what I want to discuss is consciously, you may be aware of certain thoughts that you have. Maybe when you get a paycheck or you sign that amazing contract, and then you start thinking, oh my gosh, there's not going to be enough. I sold this much, but I really need that much. Or I got that much commission and bonus, but I really need this much. Or you think about all those things that you want to do with that money, and you just start thinking there's never enough. Stop that. First of all, stop that, because there is. It may not be that you can do that right now. Maybe you do it 6 months from now, but keep a list of things that you want to do or want to buy, trips you want to take, things you want to do around your house, experiences you want to have. Just keep a list, and you will be amazed at how many times you can do those things on your list. You may think money just disappears. It runs through my hands. The money's there and then it's gone. Or I'll always be in debt. Those things are a little bit trickier. And by that, it's sometimes consciously you can change it. Other times not. Sometimes you really need to dig into that unconscious mind. And if you've ever seen the picture of the mind, it looks like an iceberg, right? So the tip of the iceberg that we see is this much. The bottom of the iceberg that we don't see is way bigger. And that is the unconscious mind. And that is running its own script all the time. And most people, well, it's called unconscious for a reason. You do things, you are accepting things from that unconscious mind unknowingly. So sometimes the unconscious mind is the one saying there's never enough, or I'm not worthy to have XYZ. So that part of the mind doesn't get rewired easily. And by that, I mean, it's not something that you can just say an affirmation about and then that groove gets replaced. It is something that you need some help doing. And by that, I mean, you can decide on NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, as a way where you're constantly putting a new groove in that unconscious part of your mind geared towards whatever you want to rewrite. The other way is through something that I'm certified in, which is an emotion code and body code energy healing. It's releasing those trapped emotions. It's releasing those unconscious blocks that have kept you stuck unknowingly. And you don't even know. It's amazing. I still work with a practitioner, and it's incredible to me what I still come up with, because it's been there since the beginning of your time. I think of it like Linus, if you've ever seen Charlie Brown. Linus has this blanket that's with him all the time. Well, think of you. You are a little Linus, and from your inception, you have been carrying this blanket, but it's full of static cling. So it's like attracting all this stuff along your path. You don't even know it exists, but it's there and it's affecting you today. And so pick a method and start to reprogram that groove in your mind. Now, this does not mean that you shouldn't make money goals, that you shouldn't set your own points that you want to achieve. But I want to encourage you that focusing on only that goal will just be frustrating to you, because sometimes you'll make it and sometimes you won't. And then there's nothing else to measure by. So accompany that money goal with action steps, little things that you can measure and be happy about at the end of each week. So if you want to increase your income 10% or 20% this year, what are some things in your profession, in your work, that you can do, that you have control over? These are measurable things that you have control over, that you can start to put things into place that you can celebrate at the end of each week, because celebrations are so important to your mind. Because you know what? It doesn't know what you're really celebrating. It could think that you're celebrating this great goal. You could be celebrating that step towards that goal. And it's like, wow, this is awesome. Let's go. Because your mind, by the way, if you think in pictures, that's also super powerful, is to imagine what you want to go and do and what you want to be. Because to the unconscious mind, there is no real or imagined. Everything is real to it. So if you start putting in more pictures of what you want to become and where you want to be, it'll just help you get there. It's pretty powerful and it's exciting. So, what does that look like to the person who has to fish for their own food? Do you need to contact more people a week? Do you need to put yourself in front of more people to ask them if they are open to what you have to offer? And not open to buy, maybe even open to hearing what you have to offer. Maybe they're not your person. Maybe they know somebody that they can connect you to buy that widget or that service that you offer. Who knows? But have more conversations with more people. Put yourself out there in the platforms that make sense for you to be there. Are you a good speaker? Can you speak in local settings? What are some of those things that you can do to bring more interest and opportunity around you? What is something that you can measure? Because that's something that you have control over, right? You don't have control over 10 new customers bought from you this month. That's their choice. That's not you. But you can control your actions. So think of ways that you can do that. And then, especially right now in this day and age, I highly, highly recommend multiple income streams, because you know what? Everybody needs that. And it's not that you have to do something at this level in both things, but there are so many different ways to, you could blog and get people to sponsor you. You can go fish and get people to sponsor you. And it's crazy. You can really play video games and get on YouTube. So things that you can look at. Direct sales, network marketing, may or may not be for you. I have no idea. Recently, one of the things that I did in July was I invested in a Walmart marketplace. And this is something where I have a team of virtual assistants that run the store for me. And I can tell you with all honesty and certainty that if I had been presented with this opportunity a year, 2 years ago, I would have flipped my lid. I would have been like, no, I can't do that. That's not me. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do that because, and I would have had a whole list of reasons. And the reason why I would have had that whole list of reasons, excuses, call them what you want, is because my glass ceiling was here. But I have been able to raise it here with the work that I've been doing. And again, it's been conscious work and it's been unconscious work. It's been goal setting and learning how to use my imagination to my advantage in where I wanted to go. All of these tools have a role. They all have a factor in getting you to the success that you want. Now, some of this work I do personally, others I have great resources. So if this is something that resonates with you and you want more information, I have my Twitter handle. I was at a meeting the other night where they were talking about Twitter. I don't have a Twitter handle here. I have an Instagram. I have my Instagram address here. And also you can message me. I am on Facebook And you can find me in Facebook or Instagram, private message me, and I will connect you to the right resource. I love connecting people to places or people that can help them solve their biggest problems. I love helping people succeed because I love celebrating each and every purpose that you have, because you know what? You are here for a reason. So go and do the thing that you're supposed to do. Go shine out there in the world. You have it in you. And if you don't believe it right now, borrow my belief, because I had to borrow other people's beliefs for a while too. And really quick before I go, I want to share something with you about the money flow in life. I was taught this by a great mentor of mine, Ray Higdon, and it was just like a light bulb moment for me. You might be somebody who gives. You might give to charities. You might have a regular spot that you give, a tithe, some people would call it. Maybe you don't. However, there is something else that I highly recommend that you start doing, and that is take advantage of Wednesdays. Ray calls it Wealth Wednesday. And what is behind Wealth Wednesday is changing that money thermostat. But it's important. It is a money exchange to an unknown person. It's anonymous without the expectation of getting in return. It is letting that money flow through your life, not holding on to it so tightly. So you let it flow. You might drop it in a diaper box. You might drop it in a bottle of or a can of formula. You might drop it in a sympathy card. You might put it anywhere. Pay for somebody's food in the drive-thru. Pay for somebody's gas at the pump. It's harder to do that anonymously, but just get into the habit. And if you have no money left at the end of a week or month, start where you are. Give $1. You're spending it on something. I guarantee it. Instead of getting that extra Starbucks this month, let that money flow. Give it out. If you are a praying person, ask whoever you pray to. Ask God. I pray to God. I pray to Jesus. So who is that person that needs to be blessed? Where should you put that money? And I will tell you that it does change the dynamic of how you think about giving and receiving money, because what you send out there will come back. It may not come back as $1 tomorrow, but somewhere along the way, it is a universal law. Give and it will be given back to you. I guarantee it. So try it. I would love to hear. Pop me a message, pop on my social media. If you start performing Wealth Wednesday gifts, I would love to hear what starts to happen for you in your life, and keep your eyes open, because it will start to happen. I guarantee it. So again, I am so excited to be here today sharing these tips and tools with you. And I believe in you. I believe in your ability to shine. Go light your light out in the world. Until next time, bye.